Our next speaker, Shareena Hatta, Head of Social Innovation Projects at the Innovation Foundation, will discuss how they applied human-centric design to help young mothers on their path toward employability. Let's welcome Shareena Hatta and hear about this groundbreaking research.
Hi there, I'm Shareena Hatta. I'm head of the Social Innovation Projects at the Innovation Foundation.
Hi, my name is Vijay Raju. I'm the co-founder of Propel Labs, and I'm an entrepreneur in residence with the Innovation Foundation.
And we're here today to talk a little bit about our Youth at Risk project in Mexico and how we're using human-centric design to find solutions for a challenge that we discovered there. Now, before I head into that, perhaps I'll share a little bit more about the Innovation Foundation and what we do and how we do the stuff that we're doing. Now, the Innovation Foundation is the corporate foundation of the Adecco Group, and our whole mission is to help underserved populations increase their employability and access to labor markets to secure sustainable livelihoods. Now, how do we do it? We do this in a three-step process called scan, build, and scale. The scan phase is the first step, which identifies the people who are falling out of the workforce and their unmet needs. We then move into the build phase, where we develop solution concepts to meet those needs, working with a multi-stakeholder group that most importantly includes the end users. Now, these solution concepts are tested and refined multiple times till it reaches a selection of solutions that are ready for the scale phase. And this is the third phase, where we create venture teams led by entrepreneurs in residence like Vijay, who will take these solution concepts and develop them with the right partners on the ground to the point where they can be taken out into the world and scaled across geographies and across demographics. Now, our Youth at Risk project in Mexico City is aimed to answer the question of how do we change the perception of young mothers and move them towards the path of employability. We're going to be sharing what we've learned during the design research phase, and I'd like to start by sharing a story about Diana. Diana lives in the low-income neighborhood of Iztapalapa in Mexico City. Diana is the mother of 5 children. These 5 kids are from 3 different partners, but she's separated from all of them, and she is a single mother. Her father works as a sweeper, and her mother is a homemaker. Diana's sister and her partner also live with them, and the partner has a part-time job. They have 2 children. Diana is 22, and she's one of many familiar stories in Mexico. 14% of adolescent girls and young women globally give birth before the age of 18. With Mexico ranking high in teenage pregnancies. We know that early pregnancies can lead to social consequences, dropouts, and reduced prospects. So to explore pathways to employability for young mothers, the team targeted Mexico City with its massive informal settlements where the target population resides. Our scan phase involved design research in the low-income neighborhoods on the outskirts of Mexico City, which included an immersion with a family for a day. And that gave us several fascinating insights into their lives, which we are going to discuss with you today. So first off, let's look into the day of the life of a young mother. Now, Mexico City's low-income young mothers have busy lives that are centered completely around their children. They oftentimes feel judged, they have very few confidants, and limited time to contribute to their families and earn money. But they want to. And the only people they feel that they can share their concerns with are their mothers, in some cases, their grandmothers, and perhaps their mother-in-laws. We take the example of Ana. Ana is 25. She has 3 children, and she lives with her grandmother and her sister, who is mentally and physically challenged. Ana also has a partner who is 45 years old. Her grandmother is her pillar of strength. Now, because of her grandmother's support, Ana is able to go out and sell toys near traffic lights or near schools once or twice a week to earn some income. But not every young mother has the support system that Ana has. So how do we create that support system that will allow the young mothers to focus on learning and in turn earning? Well, perhaps we want to meet them where they are. So meet the mothers where they are. We initially spoke to mothers in the community centers with employability programs, but these mothers are already in a funnel if they're part of an employability program. If we want to reach and impact a larger slice of this population, we need to connect with the young mothers where they naturally are and understand them in their context. So the question is, where do they go regularly? And schools was the immediate answer. mothers go to pick up their kids, and that's where they wait before picking up their kids. That wait time is when they talk to other mothers, and it's that window for us to be able to make any sort of intervention. So the next question was, what are some of the other places that they wait? And we looked at those places, and here are some of them that are on the screen right now, both on and offline. What we found, though, was that family health centers, schools, and churches were the most effective to meet them, as well as online places like Facebook and WhatsApp groups. So now I'm going to pass it over to Vijay to uncover two more kinds of insights that we found in this design research.
Yeah, and the third one is poverty doesn't have a common definition. When I went there, I was imagining these neighborhoods to be more like the Dharavi or the slums that I've seen in India. But to my surprise, after immersing myself with a family for a day in those low-income neighborhoods, these neighborhoods were surprisingly very clean. The houses were relatively spacious. They had most of the amenities that we all have, like the fridge, the TV, the washing machine. And what was surprising for me in these kind of neighborhoods, it's the tap water. They also had that. And on top of it, everyone had a smartphone. They were using TikTok, WhatsApp. And when I asked them, how do you actually get these services? How much do you pay for it? And the government has provided free public Wi-Fi. So the poverty is not the same that I have seen in some other contexts. But looking at this, you may imagine that this is Europe. It is not Europe either. It is not India either. It is a new context, and it is a new way, a new context to think about poverty. So the next one is rich and poor share a common mindset. When I went there and I spoke to these mothers, as well as Anna, the one that we spoke earlier, Anna and her partner, both of them didn't like routines. Anna has a support system in the form of a grandmother, but she doesn't like going and doing a full-time job. Her rationale was she has to travel 1.5 hours, work 8 to 12 hours, and then come back. And she just doesn't like those kind of routines. Instead, she likes to spend time with the kids, do things in her own way. Similarly, her partner, who is 40 years old, he has worked in the US for 20 years. He speaks really good English. In the context of Mexico City, there are not many English speakers, and he can easily find a job in a hotel or a restaurant. But he drives a taxi, taking kids from school and dropping them in their homes. And so the rich basically buy their time to kind of take care of the routines, whereas the poor, they choose to suffer instead of going through the routines. It's people like us in the middle who kind of give up the peace of mind and the health in the pursuit of growth and an extra income. So those are some of the insights that we got from the ground.
Yes, and it's exactly that, in those insights that came through the design research that we did in Mexico City itself. And that helped us frame 3 questions. The first is, how might we bring more mothers into this funnel towards employability? The second is, how might we engage them while they're there? And the third is, how might we leverage tech tools to move them towards that employability? So in our build phase, our multi-stakeholder project working group co-created, tested, and narrowed down the many solutions that we had ideated down to 2 solution concepts. Now, currently, we're in our scale phase, and we have 2 venture teams on the ground developing a solution concept each. The first is a social campaign, and the second is a tech tool to help young mothers find credible, trusted information on employability and signpost them towards further resources. In the next 6 months, our venture teams will be scaling and implementing these on the ground in Mexico City with our partners. And we'd love to speak with like-minded folks who are working in this space as well. So please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you for the time, and we look forward to sharing more information with you in the future.
Thank you.